Big news. Yesterday, Sam and I went out together with no children. This is the first time we've done this since Otto was born 6 months ago. We were out from 4:30 until almost 11, so that is, let me just work it out, 5:30, 6.5 hours. We had dinner. We went to see a movie, we came home and everyone was fine. To be honest, I'm 3 kids in now, so the whole leaving them thing isn't as dramatic as it felt first time round. The first time we left my firstborn, Arlo, I think he was also around 6 months, and that whole evening I just remember not really being able to concentrate and just thinking, I hope he's all right, and moreover, I hope whoever's looking after him is okay. Preparation wise, I didn't do too much really, and I probably should have. It's a couple of days after Christmas and we've only just got back from spending that time with our family. So we went up into the loft to look for my breast pump, which we couldn't find. So my plan was to leave him with some expressed milk, but I didn't end up being able to do that. So I left him with a carton of ready-made formula, which he's never tried before, but I figured he probably won't even take anything from a bottle, breast milk or formula, so it probably makes absolutely no difference. I left him with a bottle and a beaker just in case he took offence to one type of drinking vessel, but seeing as we've never ever tried Otto on a bottle before, I figured that it was probably a bit of a lost cause and he'd just be like, oh, what the hell is this that you're giving me? But 6 hours, you know, he's not going to starve. He might just be a little bit unhappy for whoever's looking after him, but I knew he'd be okay. And I made sure to give myself enough time to make sure he was properly topped up just before we left. Otto is exclusively breastfed at the moment, and he's also only used to being settled by me. We did a bit of a trial run with Sam trying to settle him in an evening and it just completely didn't work. He just cried, just wanted me. All of my children have been like this at this age, so I'm very used to it, but it does make you a little bit more nervous when you know you're going to go out. Not for him, because I know that he'll survive and he'll be fine, and I don't worry that he'll be upset too much because he's with people that will take care of him and that love him. But I do find it hard to know that I'm going to be leaving him and whoever's looking after him is basically going to be having quite a tough time of it, because it's not easy to settle a baby who is used to being settled by one person and who's used to being settled on the boob. That's quite a tough task, and it's basically 6 hours of probably pacing a room and having really achy arms, and it's not something that I'd ask someone to do on the regular. But having had 2 babies before Otto, I know that there's actually only a short amount of time between now at 6 months and say 8 or 9 months when he's eating a little bit more and he's used to taking water from a beaker, and at that point I feel a lot more confident leaving them, because I know even though they probably won't drink milk from a bottle, they will still be able to have food if they're hungry, and they'll have water, so they're going to be satisfied enough to cope without me for, you know, 6-7 hours. I probably couldn't leave them overnight. The earliest time I've left a breastfeeding baby overnight was 12 months, and that was with Rory, and he was absolutely fine by that point because he was eating quite a lot, but he didn't drink much milk, I think, while I was away, so he survived basically 24 hours without any breast milk. But he was fine. It was just one night. I think Grandma, who had him that night, had a pretty sleepless night, but everyone was fine and it was completely doable. So it's the morning after now. We had a really nice night out. We came back at about 11 and he was grizzling then, and he was really ready for me at that point. But apparently he'd been pretty happy for most of the night. He hadn't slept much. He'd only slept about half an hour, I think, in the whole time we were out. I think he was probably a little bit confused. And I'm not sure if my mum and my sister are playing down how easy he was, or if he was actually quite a bit of a hassle for them. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. Even though Otto's my 3rd baby and I kind of know my routine with leaving them, it's always quite a big moment when you do it for the first time. So I just wanted to make this video just so I can kind of document it and remember it myself. I'm not really in a hurry to leave him a lot. This was a Christmas present we were given, so it was really nice to go out with Sam on our own, and I really appreciate being able to do that. But I don't feel at that stage where I'm craving lots of time out of the house. I'm quite happy to be in with the babies most of the time, and I know that it's only a matter of a short couple of months before it becomes a lot easier to go out without the baby. Even though he's breastfed, he doesn't take a bottle, and he sleeps right next to me all night, This is the same scenario I had with Rory, who is now 3, and even though there were these circumstances which make it slightly more challenging to spend time apart from your baby and slightly more hard work for whoever's looking after them, even though we had these circumstances, it is doable, and I spent quite a lot of time going out when Rory was a baby, and I know that it's only a matter of months before I'll be doing that with Otto as well. But I don't really want to wish away this time at the same time. I'm quite happy just to be in the house and not going out loads at the moment. But if you're watching this and you have a baby who pretty much is only settled by you and perhaps doesn't take a bottle and just doesn't seem like they'd get on well at all without you around, I hope that you are watching this and thinking, oh okay, it is doable, because it definitely is. You just need to have confidence in whoever's looking after them and accept that your baby might be a little bit grumpy, might not have the best time without you, but they'll get on with it. And it is possible to leave them overnight as well. Maybe not at 6 months, but as soon as they start weaning and they start getting a bit more food in them more regularly, it is possible to leave them overnight for one night if you need to. I've done it before, it does work. And all that happens when I come home is I make sure to spend a good day re-establishing feeding a lot, because they always want to when they've been missing out, and it all goes back to normal really quickly. With my first baby, obviously I didn't have the benefit of this hindsight, which I have now, and I know that everything changes month on month quite drastically in some circumstances. So with my first, I'd say I definitely did feel quite restricted, and I felt like I couldn't go out, and I felt a bit sort of trapped by him, but I do now have the benefit of hindsight, and I know how quickly these things change, especially once they're weaned. And I just wanted to say that having a breastfeeding baby who wakes a lot in the night does not mean that you can't go out and enjoy yourself, because I do frequently, and I've had 3 babies who are like that.